Yeah, you've got a very different, sort of side of the seedings. Your first round, you get choice of side. You get arguably easier opponents right there. It's interesting, and also you kind of think about the fact that, right, they own the tiebreaker against Dignitas and Counterlogic Gaming, who will be one of their opponents if they get the 4th seed. Teams that they beat 3-1 or 4-0 this split. Those are great opponents to pull from.
Yeah, and historically they haven't had the best success against TSM. So if they got 6th and had to play TSM in the first round of the playoffs, it would be a bad start to the playoffs for them.
So we're going to see what they can do.
All right.
Yes. We're going to see what they can do here. First pick's coming on through right off the bat. Shiphtur taking away Ahri. Riven Shen Zed banned away. No surprise there. The Zach Thresh and Zach Twitch and Elise actually really not surprising bans on Coast side either.
Yeah, such a popular pick, Ahri, nowadays. Her ability to find people out of position and make them pay for it, especially once she gets that Deathfire Grasp and can just 100% any support in the game, has made her a very, very popular pick with all these mid laners who love getting the kills.
I feel like if someone played Alistar, they'd survive it.
Alas, we have not seen the Raging Bull in such a long time. It's
Mad Life still plays him sometimes. It's gotta percolate back around to the Western world and have people play him again. It was successful, man. I gotta say. Well,
if someone would do it, it'd probably be Patoy, I'd guess. But
yeah, he used to run it. Oh well.
On the other hand, we do have another favorite support here, Edward's Thresh. It's kind of synonymous. Patoy Alistar, Edward Thresh. It's just the champions that they love playing. They have the most fun playing. And we've seen so much here in the North American LCS how the teams that are having fun are the ones that are having success.
And putting him on one of those big playmakers is nice. Cop as well on Caitlyn. We've actually seen a lot of duo lane grabs by the red team. There was TSM's done it with the Sona Twitch. We've seen that now right here with the Thresh Caitlyn. The duo lanes tend to get grabbed early on. They've shown what that lane's going to be, but they're confident with it.
And it's not any secret either. I mean, Edward said, even in that last video, if he was going to have one champion, it would be Blitzcrank or Thresh. So he got the one that he wanted.
Didn't go in alphabetical order here, unfortunately. Went for the second of the two, but it's all right. He's been good with the champions so far. Played him 8 times, I believe, before now, and he's going to make this his 9th.
And locking in Caitlyn with that does give a lot of early game potential to that lane. Not only does Thresh have the ability to make their own plays in lane, but Caitlyn's range advantage can afford them a lot of easy harass very early with just trading one auto attack at a time. The way Caitlyn likes to abuse her range, since she doesn't have very good attack speed, is to just get one shot off of your opponent while they're going for a minion and then back off. The extended trades are the way that you trade back with Caitlyn if you're the opponent.
And actually once in a while as well, speaking of sort of extended trades, at least using the range, every once in a while you can land the trap while they're crowd controlled and they can't fire back. You're in 50 range and you just laugh at them the whole time through. But Coast, they've actually already said, here's the lane we want with Zyra Vayne to fight against it. I can't imagine that's a 2v2 lane. I feel like that's a lane swap here for Coast.
You know what else? DontMashMe said, you know, they would at least hover over Heimerdinger. Well, he said he would pick it, but I've had my fair share of trolls, and I don't think that they'll actually lock it in, since they already have that Vayne. But if he did, I don't know what sort of prize I would give him, but I would say he'll get an honor. I'll honor him after the game.
You'll give him. I don't think you can honor as a spectator.
Honorable opponent.
Well, we'll see. Of course, the Amumu coming back in here for Curse. The Orianna for Nyjacky. These are definitely picks that they've been showing a lot recently. The Ori's been banned away from Nyjacky. The Amumu he ran just recently. Right? This is looking like a good Curse composition so far.
Yeah, so they're going to wuss out on the old Heimerdinger threat there and instead go with a couple of mobile, high damage AD champions in Lee Sin and Kha'Zix. So this fits so well with the other two damage champions that Coast already have. Ahri plus Vayne have their own repositioning abilities. So this is a very, very mobile team, once again from Team Coast. It's definitely their playstyle. They pretty much always rely on mobility rather than tanky stats.
Yeah.
They would much rather dodge the damage than have anyone take it.
and it's a playstyle that's actually worked for them pretty well, I think. Their game against Vulcan this week, I think, was Vulcan's closest game. I think Coast was actually winning in kills at the time the game was over, and Zion, even though he had a rough lane, still went like 5-3 or something in that game on Kha'Zix, one of the only players to still play him after the sort of minor rework a month or so ago. They've been successful with this sort of team composition. Curse, of course, going with a very different look, though, very go in, bruise you, put a lot of lockdown in. Amumu, Orianna, Kennen. This is a very team fight-based team for Curse.
Yeah, it's basically Curse picking up the shotgun to try and deal with all of these mobile coast champions. They've got this Amumu giant circle that if SaintVicious has his flash, will be very hard for Coast to avoid. And then they also have Kennen with a similar sized giant AoE ultimate to lock down a large area. So even though these Coast champions are very good at dodging in and out, Curse have gone with almost as big of an area of an effect composition as they can get.
It's interesting to look at, though, because while the Janna wasn't grabbed, there is the Lee Sin for the potential knockback here on Kennen. There's a disengage available for Coast to remove some of that all-in from Curse.
It would be nice if he could get the knockback. Knocking back Kennen into the rest of the team, if Kennen has rushed into you, is the perfect situation, because not only do you get out of that slicing maelstrom damage, but you CC the rest of the team and open up your flanking champions, which is the Ahri and the Kazakhs, to pick off people on the side.
That'd be all kinds of fun. We'll see if they can coordinate the team. Coast is the team that people have talked about and said, yeah, they have moments of crazy brilliance where they do amazing things, and moments where it just doesn't quite click for them here. That was Lemonade who talked about that before their first match of the day. And we'll see which Coast shows up here, the genius or the unfortunate one. Curse, of course, playing a standard composition for them. I guess really both these teams are playing their types of champions, as you talked about. Curse, all together for the team fight. The Amumu showing back up. Coast very flighty and assassin-based, which is going to make for a really fun show. I love when teams bring different things out here. Now, Coast, unfortunately, in this game, don't have much to fight for aside from pride themselves and some practice coming into what will be the spring promotion tournament for Season 4. Curse, though, are, again, fighting for 4th place if they win, 6th place if they lose. And 6th place means they fight TSM, a TSM who are looking incredibly good right now. Not a place I think Curse wants to be. So it means a heck of a lot for the red team especially.
Gonna have to hope that they land those shotgun
pellets.
Yeah, there we go.
No graves,
ultimates.
Unfortunately. That would have been thematic at that point, but they're doing the shotgun with the sniper rifle.
The Peacemaker works pretty well.
Yeah.
Anyways, Team Coast all pinged up through this top bush. So they've been planning this out, this level 1 preconceived. Cop is in the safest possible spot there and just barely does not get hit. But 3 people around, that's always nice to be able to instantly clear a ward that's placed.
So 10 free gold here for Team Coast. An early gold lead for the blue team. A couple of wards put down by Edward as well. But still, Coast off to the early advantage here. There's no more Explorer ward for Edward, so they're up an item as well as 10 gold.
And we talked about this last game when Curse ran Amumu, but the importance of the first blue buff is very, very high for any Amumu team, because it will slow his jungle down tremendously if you're able to deny him that mana regen of the first blue buff.
And look at the games that the teams are playing, actually. The red buff that Coast had invaded was already warded. They warded it themselves. They ran over looking for Curse's golem buffs, saying, can we stop Amumu? Can we get SaintVicious out of this and keep him from getting mana? They flank back to their own side, but at this point, they're not really revealed anymore. So Coast are doing a pretty good job of trying to steal stuff away from Saint and not let him recover.
It's an interesting adaptation here, because Curse are thinking that the invade will come on their own blue buff, but with Lee Sin actually starting his red, that's going to be his second destination. It'll be easy for him to go take that one away anyway because of the AD carry and support switches that have rounded out, though. Yeah,
as we noticed, the dual lane top for Curse gives Saint the cover he needed to make that one happen. And ZionSpartan, of course, is alone here, and suddenly he feels out. He's been surrounded, learns the leap, gets flayed backwards, forced to flash. So he got a couple of last hits, that was nice, but loses the summoner spell for it.
So he went out to grab an early 2 CS. It wasn't really that he got caught off guard, because at this point, everybody's expecting the switches, and he knows that they're going to be stealing away his blue and they'll be coming up. But the only way that he could get CS that early in the game is to rush out there and go grab 2 before they come to the lane. And then he's like, well, I would just be waiting around getting zoned at my tower anyway, so I'll go back to base.
And the stun lands on a Voy with a kick as well. Oh, you are so dead, Voy. Daydreamin, kill securing here. Now, to point out, Patoy had actually taken the most kills for a support. Now Daydreamin is trying to rival him.
Now, we don't usually see a lot of 3-minute kills anymore. But that's the perfect way to set them up. That condemn was pretty much just given to DontMashMe. And Voyboy teleports back in for another one.
Oh no, Voyboy.
Oh my god!
Yeah. All right, that just happened. Void does get the kill, removes the buff from Nintendude, but that is a large amount of gold going early on to Team Coast.
Oh no, Voyboy's gonna get a talking to when they get back, because anytime you die, teleport back and instantly die again.
Yeah. It's a little rough.
You can't show your face around the house for a little bit. You're gonna have to go walk outside.
A little rough. So the bottom lane's still getting pushed down. We talked about how just a couple games ago, the barely under 4-minute turret had happened. Now ZionSpartan, the level 1 versus level 3 SaintVicious. Yeah, Zion, you're losing to Saint pretty hard right there. Fully zoned out of his own lane. His turret's going down rapidly as well. So we're back to 2 weeks ago. Turret's going down early on.
Yeah, what armor on turrets? I'm not really sure that had any effect at all. Curse right here getting off to a very a quick answer though. So they're not far behind at all. Even the gold back up. It was just a flashy couple kills there on Voyboy.
Well, here's the pressure onto the turret. Of course, Daydreamin is going to pull turret aggro with that plan. He's got to be a bit careful here. Turret there dropping below about 200 health at this point. But MashMe and Co are still trying to just put the damage onto Voy. Saint, though, now in a bit of a rough spot in his own jungle. Edward lands look on Nintendo. This is not good for Lee Sin. Gets played back as well. Does he have anywhere to go? He does not. Kill picked up there for Saint. Nice job right there. 2-2 and kills now for Curse.
Those deadly invading Amumus.
Yeah.
When was the last time we saw an Amumu so aggressive that you were worried about him in your side of the jungle?
When you got a duo lane backing him up. The Thresh Prince.
Edwards got something to say about it. So now this will finally be the answer here. Team Coast do claim their slight gold lead here, up 100 gold.
Yeah, but the push is still going in the top lane, though. Only the outer turrets get the early game armor buff. This one actually dropping rather quickly. Zion and Nintendo is still trying to defend.
And even though Voyboy died twice in a row after using his teleport, it's a bit embarrassing, but he's still higher level than Zion because he got back and he was able to soak up more minions. Zion just now hitting level 2.
That's a little bit rough for ZionSpartan. He had a really bad lane last time around when we saw him on Kha'Zix. He turned it around at the end with good fighting and managed to pick up a bunch of kills, but he's definitely got his work cut out for him. We'll be able to track Zion throughout this game and see what kind of moves he can make. His flash, of course, still on cooldown from that first tussle in the lane at 2 minutes. We'll keep tracking him. 11 to 15 minions between these solo laners. The mid lane matchup is, though, one we have not talked about for a while, though. Shiphtur versus Nyjacky. They burned their ignites earlier on in the matchup, trading blows. Ultimately, they're pretty close to each other, though. Only 5 minions apart. And they're hitting level 6 soon, which means it will get more explosive soon. Exactly.
Until Ahri has the mobility of that level 6 Spirit Rush, which he just got now, the kill potential is not quite there. Nyjacky as Orianna can do a good job of just shielding herself and negating a lot of the damage. Plus, Nyjacky has rushed that Chalice, so it's going to protect him from most of Shiphtur's damage.
Exactly. I was just about to sort of call out the difference in builds there, the one being more protective, the one more offensive, but as you pointed out, yeah, Jacky's the one trying to keep himself a little bit more alive, using the magic resist to survive. Shiphtur, if he's like every other Ahri we've seen this weekend, likely to go for that Deathfire Grasp and play as the assassin. DontMashMe, though, has been swapped to the other side of the map now. Is waiting to pressure this top turret now with Daydreamin. Voyboy is still set to defend him 1v2, but again, still outnumbered and outleveled.
Voyboy's going to have a decent time at his turret, though, until he gets condemned again and rooted up. Good CC chain here.
A lot of damage going on to Void. Look at that double cloth armor already picked up. He knows he's got to pretty much rush the Zonius to try to get some armor to survive. Chug some potions, but is zoned out. However, Curse used this numbers advantage to push down for this dragon with a pink ward. No one's going to see this from Coast.
They do have the man advantage down here, so it'd be very dangerous for Coast to try and steal. They could have pulled one of the Lee Sin Q over the walls into try and steal and then flash back out, but it would have been very dangerous, and no flash on Nintendude means that, you know, he would not have had an escape plan for that.
So, nice try, but unfortunately not going to work out for these guys here. For Coast, I should say. Of course, Curse making a really good move, putting themselves now 500 gold in the lead. As you continue to track their progress around the map. Their duo lane, of course, doing a pretty good job. Cop, wow, that turret has already gone down in the top lane, so that's what Coast got to answer for with that dragon. I want to see if Cop and Edward can make that same thing happen, because now it's Coast back again with the lead.
And Coast are also sending Nintendo down to back Zion up So it'll be a very long time before they're able to answer with this bottom turret.
Nintendu, wow, taking a lot of damage for that one. Below half HP, but yes, with the defense, looks like he'll be happy.
Now, something to be said for all of these 2v1 swaps is that ZionSpartan on Kha'Zix actually would need a lot more farm to operate in the mid game than Kennen does. Kennen provides a lot more utility with his ultimate and getting off the mini stuns in an area of effect, whereas Zion actually needs a lot more attack damage to be able to perform as Kha'Zix should and get those resets and executes.
And speaking of, neither of those guys are actually level 6 yet, so Voyboy not yet providing that utility, has been zoned out a little bit. ZionSpartan not yet reaching an evolution either. But again, we'll see them as the game progresses. No games end at 9 minutes, so they'll scale up. SaintVicious level 6 just now from killing the big Wraith camp, and we'll see if he gets one of those ganks off with Curse the Sad Mummy. Last game, took him till level 7 to find one, but it worked out pretty well. This time we'll see what happens.
So now we're going to have to see if Voyboy decides to shove this lane back, or if he just wants the last hit up there and freeze it, because they have just answered with the bottom turret. And you want to make good use of the timing of when you shove that top lane back so that you can make Coast decide which lane they want to go defend, top or bottom.
Let's see what it ends up being here. Looks like Voy's actually still running around near the jungle and whatnot, maybe taking double golems and stuff. Kopp and Edward also still playing the aggressors. They want to stick around here and keep the lanes pushed down. So it looks like, yeah, it's the slightly more aggressive play here from Curse. You're seeing SaintVicious walk in, put an aggressive ward down as well. That'll help watch rotations from Nintendude as well as from Shiphtur. So it seems that Curse are setting up for some aggressive play.
Yeah, he's built up a very nice minion wave up here in the top lane. His cannon minion already down to half health, which will hurt him a little bit, but he has plenty of those range minions to answer. Here, there goes the ulti from Saint and Nyjacky.
Shockwave Dissonance, the flash in from Nintendude. Unfortunately, though, still goes down. Nice pick up there, Nyjacky. Shiphtur's Charm not enough to kill off SaintVicious. Another advantage for Curse.
They did get the kill in the middle by burning the 2 ultimates plus flash. However, Voyboy did have to back off of that giant minion wave that he was babysitting, and it's gone all to ZionSpartan. So it's a whole bunch of food that Zion desperately needed to get back in this game and get that damage that we were talking about. He is freely last hitting this minion wave.
And you see him right there, catch up in minion score. He's going to catch up in levels, probably even surpass Voyboy. Well, it looks like he's going to be tasting their fear after all. ZionSpartan scaling up nicely to be that assassin. But Curse have other things to answer for. Top laner farming minions, great. We'll push mid instead. That turret down below half HP. So Curse are still finding, you know, they're not necessarily ganking Zion and going directly for the counter, but they're finding other things to do to keep pressure on and make Coast pay for what they do.
And Voyboy trying to remedy his top lane situation by bringing his own ward and placing it on blue buff, as well as buying up a pink ward to try and clear out Zion's vision when he pushes the lane back in his favor.
See where he ends up putting that one, and if Voyboy can play the mind games properly, you remember when he actually played against Doublelift not too long ago, actually properly guessed just where Doublelift went while invisible as Twitch? See if he can find where ZionSpartan's invisible ward goes. And that'll be 2 for 2 on the blind guessing game for Voy, which I would like a lot.
Lee Sin's pretty good at that blind guessing game.
He's a good Lee Sin player.
He's had a lot of practice, but he, being Nintendo, just placed a ward for Zion up in that tri-bush.
But the pressure is here. Not going to get stunned up, though. Good dodging by Nintendo to not take that last skill shot. Not by Kennen nor by Amumu. Now what is next up here? Just the mid lane standoff. No gank pressure has been found right here. Both teams actually putting good enough ward presence down that they're not getting found.
And now he jumps to that ward that he's put so sneakily. Here comes the teleport.
And DontMashMe forced to cleanse away. A root lands perfectly from Daydreamin, helping him stay safe. Shiphtur running away, though, from the Ignite. Of course, that flash had already been burned. Ooh, and he dodges the trap as well. That would have killed him. Kopp would have gotten that with the Yordle Snap Trap.
Great job down bottom by Daydreamin, just countering that teleport in from Voyboy, and that means that they lost their presence top lane, so he has to recall as quickly as possible, because now this time it's Zion with the minion, the cannon wave minions. Or cannon minion wave.
Yes. Got the cannon minion in the wave. There's the push going down. Level 9 now on Zion. Continuing to scale up, continuing to be scary. That team is pushing on forward. Voy's been sent to the top lane, though. After the teleport, he recalled quickly, went to go defend. Zion actually recalling back in safety. And it looks like the bottom lane push also not succeeding for Curse. They got it to the turret, then said, okay, we'll back out. We're not going to get a turret.
Curse did not manage their minion waves quite optimally right there. Voyboy was playing so cautiously that he missed out on a lot of experience. And that's pretty much the entire level discrepancy between him and Zion right now. It's getting very big. 2 levels is pretty huge at 13 minutes in.
And not to mention 28 minions. Like, Zion was screwed early on. Like, we called that out. How, okay, Void died twice, but he got an experience range. He's got a 2-level lead. Zion was level 1 when Saint was 3, and he was losing duels to Amumu as a single target assassin. Zion fully recovering, ready to be a terror. But first, Curse are looking now for the Dragon. Down to half health. They've got a 5-on-4 for now. The hook lands on Nintendu. This is not going to be good for Lee Sin. He's going to go down. Kill picked up. Baron, Dragon resetting back to half HP, but Saint is still there. There's no smite to compete with. Another Dragon going to Curse. That's 2 of 2 and a 2,000 gold lead.
The most important part was that Edward was able to land his Death Sentence, so Saint could save his ulti, and Voyboy could save his as well. There's no chance Coast will go into fight a team fight when they still have both of those giant AoEs available.
And Curse are greedy. They take a second reward for a single kill. They got the Dragon, now the middle turret as well. 3-2 in turrets, 2-0 in Dragons, 4-2 in kills, and 2,500 gold now puts Curse ahead. This is looking good for these guys.
The only aspect that they're losing in is that solo laner, which is Voyboy versus Zion. So Coast are putting a lot of weight on Zion to be able to carry this now. And he's not with them right now.
Daydreamin forced ulti, knocking people up. Saint gets caught as well as Nyjacky and Edward. Is there going to be enough? The Shiphtur knocked around. He's got to run backwards. The passive not quite landing. Voyboy kicked away. The ulti from Caitlyn doing some good damage there. Voyboy still dropping in HP. Can Zion get it? Finds one. Loses a lot of health though. The death sentence lands from Edward in stealth. It makes that a 2-for-1 for Curse.
He only had 1 evolution there. He was not able to evolve his jump as well, so no reset for Zion meant he had to go down for that kill on Voyboy. And Curse were able to capitalize here. But that whole time, we've got DontMashMe at the bottom, farming up a Bane. So that will be a very nice mid-game threat here. He'll be able to complete that Blade of the Ruined King.
He's got 17 gold to go, and he's got it. So waiting in base for it. Blade of the Ruined King gonna come out at about 16 minutes for this Vayne. He'll be happy. Of course, Cop going for a very different build, going Infinity Edge in the Caitlyn, so different scaling paradigms for these champions, by the way. Actually, he stops... Never mind. That's part of Infinity Edge. I thought he was going Phantom Dance so randomly. It's like, he bought a critical cloak. That's... Oh, wait, no, that's part of the recipe. And Freak, you're terrible at this game.
Caitlyn definitely opting more for the auto attack damage because she's not much of a duelist. That's why Blade of the Ruined King not going to be a priority item for DontMashMe very early on.
Yeah, not to mention the range difference. You have to like walk halfway in, negate the entire point of your champion.
That's
all right,
never
guys,
a good feeling.
I slowed you down. Let me net backwards. That wasn't worth it, was it? No. Cop, though, back on farm duty, and by the way, doing a very good job of, to be fair, beating his sort of role opponent in minion kills. He's up about 23 here, Cop, over DontMashMe. That's let him have actually, wow, an 800 gold lead. Even though Blade of the Ruined King is done on one side, Cop has got way more money than MashMe.
But, however, MashMe is happy with the item threshold that he's at. He had enough money to finish that Ruined King after waiting around for that 17 gold on the steps. So that means that he does have that very strong dueling potential now in Vayne. And if he met up with DontMashMe, even though DontMashMe's got his Infinity Edge completed, which is a much more expensive item, Vayne would have the advantage in a 1-versus-1 situation. Saint does not have the advantage in a 2-versus-1 situation. Has to run for the hills.
Not so much. I think Shiphtur and Daydreamin unfortunately layered their crowd controls together, and combined with the tenacity from SaintVicious' Golem Spirit, got out pretty quickly, so he's nice and safe. But yeah, had to be a little bit scared. Nyjacky had to shield him and get him out there. And of course, Voyboy now, the top lane on farming duty. That gold, that minion lead though, has jumped to 50. ZionSpartan is getting more and more ahead of Voy. That individual power we kept talking about for Coast. Zion being level 11, having a second evolution. It's almost got to be the jump
Oh my
at
god,
this
he misses point blank bandage.
And Saint, though, getting dropped again on health bars, but there's the jump in. Voyboy going to find Zion. No HP left, but will it be enough for Shiphtur? It is. Zion survives the battle. The charm not going to stop the sun from coming out. Shiphtur still forced to jump away. Saint so tanky. Burns his ulti. His team is coming in from the river. This could be enough, but the Ignite comes down. The charm misses, but the Q lands. And Ignite burns those bandages off, turns the mummy to dust. And now Curse goes, well, he's already dead. Twice.
Oh, Curse so uncoordinated right now. Nyjacky's going to try and finish this one off to answer, but Coast still came out ahead in that trade because once again, they pulled that move off with DontMashMe down bottom, farming up minions once again. So Voyboy initially going for that kill onto Zion would have been a 1 versus 1, it would have been fine. But they actually had vision because Shiphtur ran right next to Saint 2 seconds earlier to that. So it was a misplay aggression right there. DontMashMe, he gets flash hooked. Oh,
good cleanse by MashMe that will still put Edward in range. Now, can he win the duel? Stuns him on the wall. MashMe, do you have the damage? There's a Voyboy coming. You've got to be careful. Flash then picks one up. Now, can he win the duel? Nintendude is coming around. Will not be in range to shield toss. He's going to jump forward anyway. Got to be afraid now. SaintVicious suddenly bit off more than he can chew, and the damage output is still coming through. The Caitlyn did not do anything, and that is 2 kills picked up. Nice job by Coast.
They just funneled in there thinking they could save each member of Curse, and they just ended up feeding an extra kill there on top of their earlier miscoordinated aggression. So it's a couple of unfortunate events here for Coast. So the hook can land, and the cleanse only takes off the stun part. So Edward's still able to do the second activation to follow to DontMashMe, but it was way too far ahead, and they actually ended up paying for it here with 2 kills as Voyboy first tries to save Edward, and then SaintVicious tries to save Voyboy, ends up paying for that one with an extra kill.
It was a nice little move by Zion as well. Mid-fight, he saw the ulti was channeled onto MashMe, stopped, turned around, blocked the shot, and then kept chasing SaintVicious. So all that going on, there's even more layers to how these fights go down. However, the revives are back in time. Curse are like, well, we got control over Dragon, and there's a couple of guys back in base with a teleport up for Voyboy.
They still have the SaintVicious Amumu ultimate. They don't have Voyboy with them, but there's still 2 members of Coast trailing, so they're going to just try and delay Curse right now. If Curse actually make the mistake and chase Coast, then they can easily turn this one around.
Well, it looks like they might be going for it here. The roots land, Saint drop, below half get caught actually. Hook misses, he jumps over the wall with his sight stone. He's going to be safe for now.
All right, so they've bought Voyboy some alone time with this turret, and we'll see if he can actually stay long enough to put the damage on, but he backs out very early again. A lot of cautious, very, very cautious play here from Voyboy all game long.
Yeah, so all right, they're going to be okay with this one. Zion does clear these out pretty successfully. He's getting himself scaled up. That lead now under 50. It was up there before, but now 43 minions separate Zion and Voyboy. It's still the record I want to track because that's still where the advantage chiefly lies here for Team Coast, the 2-1 Zion, making things happen. And
I'd have to say that advantage, it has a lot to do with Team Coast's composition and how it mentally affects Voyboy. I talked about him playing so cautiously this game, and a lot of it has to do with any member of Coast roaming around behind him could catch him out. So he's constantly worried about an Ahri at his back, or at least Sin at his back, coming to pick him off. And that's why, even with that ward at blue buff, he's been giving up some minion kills and not pressuring to the fullest of his ability.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary place to be in. Shiphtur, the roaming Ahri, Nintendude, the roaming Lee Sin. Even with 4 deaths, he's still been a part of 4 of his team's 7 kills. Nintendude on Lee Sin. He's definitely doing a fair bit. And again, I mean, you can ward the blue buff, but think about it. He's got a Ruby sight stone. He can hop walls all day and just come in from the shadows. You'll never see him coming.
It's the whole angle that Coast usually hope to achieve with their very mobile compositions. And Curse are definitely more at home when they're all next to each other. They would much rather have those large team fights.
We'll see what they can find. Right now, the team lurking in brush. Zion decides to reveal himself anyway. They don't quite get the catch onto that Caitlyn. Top's going to be safe here. Nintendude just sweeping things away. Voyboy still on split push duty. Looks like Curse are just going to play a slightly longer game here and try to, again, look for the major team fights. As you said, they want those big battles. Dragon down, they don't find that.
So they're actually going to try and delay as long as they can at this turret to buy Voyboy time to split push and buy him time, the 3.5 seconds that it takes for the upgraded teleport to come through. what they're going to do is have SaintVicious be the initial lockdown with his Curse of the Sad Mummy, and then after the teleport does come through with Voyboy, he can follow that one up.
Well, that'll be the goal for these guys. ZionSpartan, though, has been sent on counter push duty, but has no crowd control to stop Voyboy. Now, Curse will find that second tier turret right there, making it 4-2. Shiphtur alone pushing mid. He's got to be aware of the push behind him. There are Curse members coming up the flank. Can Shiphtur stay long enough to kill the turret? He's got to leave now. He is on the correct side of the map to run away. Voyboy's not cutting him off. Nintendude spots the team. Turret does not go down, so Curse does defend that just barely successfully. About 250 health left in the structure. 318, that was close.
Coast would love to be able to pick Voyboy off with one of their assassin champions, preferably the Ahri, because we're not sure if Zion, even at this point, being so fed, can finish Voyboy off by himself. We saw up top, even when Voyboy's so far down in minions, Zion's still having a tough time finishing him off solo.
He's still scaling up, though. I feel like you get to the point where Zion gets crazy. Saint getting jumped on right there, down to half HP, burns his ulti. Voyboy, will he re-engage? Looks like he's going to go for it. Saint still low. He's going to flash out. Zion off on the outside. Actually, almost no one getting caught by Voyboy's ultimate. Nintendu flashing over the wall, still alive, does drop down. Shiphtur gets a shutdown, though. 1-for-1 in this battle. MashMe still alive. Charm lands on the Voy. He's been rooted, forced to pop his zone use, but no one actually wanted to kill Voy. It's just a cooldown loss right there. 1-for-1, trading mid for jungle. It's pretty good for Coast.
Mid for jungle, plus the 2 giant AoE cooldowns of Curse. So Coast very happy with that one, and now they're going to look to steal away this blue buff, so they get an objective on top of that trade.
Yeah, they get the blue buff, that's nice. Actually, just a recount on ultimates, though. Coast did actually use all of theirs. Now, granted, they're lower cooldown ultimates, so you're right. They will have a better time than SaintVicious will, but Cobb and Edward do still have theirs if they wanted to play defense. They could press R if that would help. However, just Coast outnumbers Curse right here. Edward tries to fake with the lantern, doesn't do anything though. That's going to be turret going down. Coast finds their third, and they bring the game within 1,000 gold. We've still got quite the match on our hands.
And it's all going to be about where Coast catch Curse out of position once again, because that's pretty much their whole game plan this game and for the majority of all of their LCS games. They pretty much always try and pick these very mobile champions to catch you out of position. It's up to Curse to make use of their teleport on Voyboy without him getting caught.
Well, the teleport at least is still up for this one, so as soon as the ultimates are back from cooldown, of which 3 of the 5 are, they're still winning on Saint and Voy, they can go for round 4 or so of the major team fight composition, see if they can find something. Curse still does lead in gold. They've got the ability to scale throughout this game. And Coasters, they've actually got a good set of wards scattered throughout the map. Coast really, you see the blue dot scattered throughout the jungle, trying to see where the rotations go. They find Voyboy clearing the top-hand side of the map. And they might find the next opening. However, with Dragon up, this is the next interesting contest on the map.
And this is what Curse are waiting for, so they can try and pull Coast into a fight inside this river where they can contain them.
Oh, no steal on the Dragon. Battle has begun, though. The teleport coming in from behind. There is Voyboy. He's going to first find the support. That's not good for Daydreamin. Gets assassinated by Cop. DontMashMe forced to run backwards. Good early fight here for Curse. Dragon, as well as a couple of kills. Voyboy dropped low. Saint on the outside, also getting chunked. ZionSpartan pops the ulti. Not going to find anyone to jump in onto, though. And Curse disengaged with 1 for nothing.
A good teleport in there from Voyboy to pick up the kill, but the main story here is SaintVicious hit the smite. They took the Dragon down.
Yeah, outsmited Nintendude. Very well played there by Saint, making that fight worth it all in the end. DontMashMe's going to clear away the double golem. So now you got to think about, all right, well, Curse are starting to really scale ahead at this point. They've got a pretty sizable lead of 3,000. That's one of the bigger leads we've seen in this game. Whereas they've still got the crazy team fight comp with a safe Caitlyn, the Kennen, Amumu, Orianna. That's all kinds of scary. Can you rely on a DontMashMe Vayne to carry you into the late game, or is ZionSpartan going to be big enough? Like, what does Coast do if they stop finding picks?
So, the reason that Team Coast have been an inconsistent team in the LCS is because they love playing these types of champions, and this is the general gameplay that they usually go for, which is inherently an inconsistent style of play because a lot of their potential relies on catching people out and landing those skill shots that are required to lock people up. So, short answer is no, not reliable.
Okay. They'll hope. They'll hope for the aim. They'll hope that they don't get dodged out, or they guess the mind games properly.
It's all skill.
It is all skill. Ezra would say that, and I believe him. Let's see if they can do it. Coast waiting on the outside. They don't quite find the route. Put some plants in front of SaintVicious, and Amumu says, all right, I won't hug the Vine Lasher. That's not my friend. This ward, though, maybe the creepy Thresh guy, I'll hug him. He'll be my friend. Find power in numbers there. Curse. Oh,
this is what
Daydreamin.
don't want to do. The dance around Baron without vision. There goes Saint.
He's going to dive in on the side. Actually, a very split battle right here. Cop going to burn his ulti, not finding a kill for it. Nintendu dangerously low, trying to run, but that will be a kill anyway. SaintVicious still re-engaging. Saint low, but MashMe can't chase him out. That is a 1-for-0 again. Curse just keep finding these openings.
But ZionSpartan is hunting the weak gazelle here. SaintVicious is in the middle of the pack, trying to be safe, and Zion really wants a piece.
The ward lands, or the ward comes down, they spot Zion, he's going to run away. Shiphtur finds Edward, though. He had been surrounded. Good pickup here. And as we said, the Ari finds support, kills the support. All right, let's move on forward.
Yeah, you got to relate this Coast style of gameplay to like a pack of velociraptors. Nice. Always on the hunt for the straggler, and they were able to find Edward there on the wrong side without the rest of his team.
And what's so great about that is Curse started that fight with a kill. They're like, we won that fight. And then Coast were like, no, we refuse. They found their own trade kill and even got a turret for it, so I got to commend Coast on their tenacity there. They lost the fight, and they said, no, we win the fight, screw you. And made it happen.
It's funny that you credit their tenacity when none of them have any tenacity. Good one.
Hey,
anyways,
I got fooled by the Trinity Force, non-Trinity Force earlier. I can't get out of this right today.
I think the main point from that is that we need a Velociraptor Kazakh skin.
Yes.
That seems mandatory now.
And in fact, not even Nintendude has a 21 defense. He's got too much flat armor pen. He doesn't even have tenacity from the frickin' Masteries.
Yeah.
There is 0 tenacity in the Coast lineup, ladies and gentlemen. But they still have it in spirit. The players themselves can't be stunned. Their champions can. But Nintendo, you trip him up, he gets up faster than anyone else.
Is that something that Elements brings to the team? He instills in them.
He's got a tenacity aura. The natural human tenacity aura.
There we go.
That's what he does.
All right, so Curse have Groot's back up because, again, they don't want to get picked off, and they're going to rely even more heavily on sticking together now because they've felt what it's like to be separated from their brethren. They don't want to be caught out of position again. So, well, that makes it very curious that Voyboy is actually up top right now because his teleport's not available. So I have to say, if Coast get any wind of Curse coming in, then they're going to probably back up here.
They're actually jumping forward. Nintendo getting caught and just explodes first. The lone Velociraptor dies. Daydreamin down low on HP as well. SaintVicious splitting off. Shiphtur gets caught as well. That's 2 dinosaurs down, and Curse going to keep moving forward. Then Coast going to keep walking backwards. That was...
all right, that's what Vision will do for you.
Yeah.
Curse definitely make a good move right there. Denying all the vision from Coast and forcing them to come back in. That was actually Coast's mistake of going in 1 by 1.
Daydreamin getting caught sleeping right there. The hook lands, kills him off. Now only Zion and MashMe are left, and I don't think they can 2v5. Baron Nashor goes down. Well picked up. That is again a smite out from SaintVicious. Second objective in a row secured by him. And here we go. Let's check out the last fight.
All right, so this is Nintendo. Not only did he go in first by himself, but he used his safeguard to go in, so he had no escape after that anyway. Shiphtur does the exact same thing going in by himself, and Nyjacky does not care if it's a one-person shockwave. He's taking Shiphtur home dead.
Yeah, Shiphtur jumped onto a trap. That was just so unfortunate for him.
You talked about how satisfying it is as Caitlyn.
Yeah.
To be able to just freely auto-attack people on traps, and Shiphtur loves cupcakes, so great job by Cop preying on his weakness.
It's not even fair. There are only 4 Yordles. It says it isn't the ability. Coast doesn't even have a Yordle on their team. They still eating the cupcakes. These guys are not playing by the rules. Tenacity and everything. Curse, though, still on the aggression here. Another turret goes down, making that 5-4 for them. They've got the Baron. They've gotten, I believe, every dragon as well. Curse winning by only 4,000 gold, oddly enough, despite like everything else in the scoreboard telling you they're up by a lot.
The purple buff is definitely worth a lot too. So not only do they have that slight gold advantage, but they've got the stats that come along with those circling purple flowers. Flowers? They're definitely flowers.
Sure. I think they're runes.
Sure.
They're little runes.
Sure they are.
Sure, uh-huh. Sure, Kobe. They're flowers.
All right, the point is, with that, they also have a lot more armor on Saint now. He's also gotten his Glacial Shroud, so they would not be opposed to a turret dive at this point in the game. And the only answer here from Coast that's been different than any of the last team fights is that DontMashMe now has his Quicksilver Sash to get out of that initial SaintVicious ultimate and be able to put out damage, which they previously have not had.
And the push is still continuing for Curse. You're seeing that the damage output that lands tends to stick, whereas the damage from Coast is regenerated so quickly. So the siege is just continuing for this Curse lineup. They're in pretty good shape. Cop firing away from far back. Edward even putting the lantern down to secure everything. And that is picked up successfully. You're seeing the base still under siege. Saint in front. Engage might come. There's the jump in. Saint down to half HP, gets kicked right back out. Voyboy's going to jump in there. Nowhere to kick him out. But the dive in the back is Shiphtur. Will he find Nyjacky? There's one kill picked up for ZionSpartan. Saint's ult comes across. Zion will go down, but that's 2 kills picked up so far for Coast. Zion's going to just revive and be safe. Ever getting shot. DontMashMe, can he fight Cop on the right-hand side? He lands the stun. No, he doesn't, and Cop kills him off. Coast forced to run away. The Cop ult. Ooh,
no!
Nintendude.
Shoot anyone else but Nintendude. Oh, so close right there. But it was a great job by Shiphtur rotating around the back there. He did exactly what Ari needs to do and flanked to the back of this fight. Zion took the first hit right there. And that kick from Nintendude, by the way, saved both him and DontMashMe from that Amumu ultimate. Right there, Shiphtur and Zion finally pay for their flank, but they took out the priority targets. And with Zion getting back up, they're able to finish this one out ahead. Cop just barely able to hold his own.
Oh, very interesting fight then by this Coast squad, putting themselves in a little bit of better shape. Their turret had already died. They're fighting a Baron buff, and they came out ahead in a direct 5-on-5. Right, you talk about how inconsistent and crazy this Coast team comp is. That was the exact type of fight Curse wanted. And Coast were like, by sheer force of will and innate tenacity, they found what they wanted. Zion now up to 3-1-3, 242 minions. It seems that even though he was down early on, he can't keep him out. Zion's still holding on for his team and trying to carry it through late.
Well, he did also use up the Guardian Angel charge, so that's a very long cooldown for Coast. And if the next fight from Curse comes before that gets back up, then they will have much better results, as well as not having to deal with a turret this time. So an exposed inhibitor bottom is pretty much the best leverage that Curse can have for the next Baron that they're going to be looking at.
Yeah.
They can easily force a fight in open territory down at that exposed inhibitor, and then rotate up to Baron to force Coast into another one of those blind engages where we saw them get the advantage before around Baron. Just make use of that Oracles.
And to think about it, Voyboy also does have his teleport available. If they wanted to send him towards that bottom lane, split push by himself, pull someone over there in his TP back, they've got that in their back pocket as well. So Curse holding a lot of the core setups here. 13 seconds until Baron Nashor respawns.
Spooky Ghosts coming for ya!
They're scaring him away. It's Halloween here with a mummy and Spooky Ghosts.
Well, that was
Everyone's fine. Yep, I was scared. But Curse, with power and numbers, were okay. They held each other's hands and said, don't be afraid, it's just Halloween. There we go, Baron coming up in 2 minutes. Got that number wrong for you guys, but it's just 2 minutes away there. And Curse still looking for their siege in the bottom lane. There's Voice splitting the top, actually. So they're trying to pressure with their main force that bottom lane.
Yeah, so the reason that they flipped it and they have their 4 members down bottom is because they actually really want to take that inhibitor before going to clear out vision around Baron. And they want Voyboy to actually be able to teleport down to the bottom lane to flip the numbers.
Well, here we go. Nintendo steps on a trap, and that's going to be enough to send Curse back for now. SaintVicious going to be holding onto the ball for part of this one. And look at that, Nyjacky and Saint are controlling different sides of the battle.
Q lands on the Cop, but it's too far for Nintendo to go in.
All right, they're not going to chase down just yet. Wave's still getting cleared. Look at the pink ward, though, aggressively into the Coast base. Able to scout for wards in case some were down. Able to kind of wrest control right there. Zion actually waiting in the fog of war to leap in.
Plus, it also adds the benefit of a very deep spot for Voyboy to teleport in, and it would cover the battlefield in vision so that when Zion uses his ulti, they can keep track of him and burn him down.
A lot of good ideas there with that ward. Of course, Voy still in the top lane, and no one has... There we go. Zion's going now to try to sweep that up, try to control Baron and Dragon, only a minute away each.
Get one hit, Voyboy, on that turret.
Well, right now it's the inhibitor they're getting hit a little bit. Cop playing very defensively. He's not risking his life when Lee Sin Q lands on him. Doesn't want to get kicked into the team. Nintendude, he's got Flash and the Ghost Wards to put down. Definitely a risk there for Cop to get kicked in.
Here we go. He's got the charged up Qs too. Those make a very satisfying sound.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
there's
the
charm.
inhibitor.
Lands onto Nyjacky. Inhib is down. Will they go in? Cop finds it. Inhib is died, and that's going to let Curse just walk right away, saying we're not going to risk anything else. Good siege by this Curse lineup. They found the openings they wanted. They built a 7,000 gold lead now. Voice still top. The rest of the team grouping elsewhere.
Now would be the easy rotation for Curse back to Baron. It's going to take the next wave to walk all the way down, though, before the super minions actually have an effect. So Curse still have a little while to wait, and Coast have a small window here where they can actually make their move without losing more of their base.
Well, they're looking at it right now. Nyjacky waiting at the other side, using his ball for vision, and the battle has begun over Baron Nashor. See Void just recalling in the front, trying to bait out some summoners or some abilities. They're still losing health. Baron down below, 1/3 HP. Dive not coming in for Coast, but Curse actually going to stop and turn around and deal with
for
plants.
so long. Jacky's at half.
You're right, they've lost so much health because when the dive comes in, will they find the damage they need? The Wombo combo comes across. One kill traded back and forth. Voyboy being locked up, not finding anything else with the slicing maelstrom. Nyjacky low. Will they keep chasing? Shiphtur has maybe a couple more dashes. The dive in for Edward. DontMashMe still chasing. Does have flash and cleanse. Getting slowed down. Cop now in range. There's the slow. Putting more damage across. Mashme still on the chase, but can't go through the distance. Just the one kill for one. Health bar is incredibly low for Curse. Actually, even Coast, though they don't have Smite, could try Baron.
There's a large blob down here of red dots. That's minions slowly working towards their base, and Coast don't want to take the chance even. So they don't want to go for Baron. It would be a pretty risky play. They were able to come out on ahead in health, but even in kills. So they made their move in their small window that they had, and it was successful.
And Baron Nashor made that game a bit of a 6v5, I suppose, and it did help Coast to win that battle, or at least trade even in the battle in terms of kills, and pick up a bunch of gold from that bottom lane pushing. With the inhibitors dead, all the lanes push towards Coast base. They've got to come back and get all those minions out of their way, get the golden experience, and then re-aggress on the map. Coast know this, know that Coast are on the other side of the map. Start Baron again, but again, they've got to be worried about how much damage this deals, and their positioning. SaintVicious cut off from the team.
2 more Guardian Angels came in for Curse, though, at that last buy.
Saint's gonna get charmed up. Nintendo, though, getting just destroyed and falls down. Nyjacky finds that kill. ZionSpartan getting jumped up, forced to push away. Shiphtur, can he find any kills? Looks for Cop, but Cop has a GA. Charm doesn't do much. ZionSpartan on the backside, he's also going down. These are kill after kill going for Curse. DontMashMe finds one, though. ZionSpartan goes down, making that one a 3-for-1. And there's the rest of Curse chasing down Coast. Down below half HP, Voyboy teleporting in towards the base of Coast.
He's going for the Nexus turret down there, the bottom one. He's got 2 super minions with him.
And look at the health bar just getting destroyed. DontMashMe's got nowhere to go. Edward really trying to control this one. Can Mashme win that battle? He cannot. That's going to be another kill picked up. Voyboy still on the siege. Cop is dominating. 6, 0, and 8. And another turret is going down. Daydreamin is alone for 13 seconds. Voyboy still putting the damage. The minions coming through as well.
Great job by Curse this time. Congratulations on their win. That's going to be the 4th spot, and they're going to avoid that first round playoff game with TSM.
Void's going to dive on in. Nexus explodes. Curse going to end the regular season in 4th place with that win, putting themselves in a pretty good standing for the postseason. And are we surprised? Curse ending in 4th place. It seems like their destiny every year.
They always seem to find their way back to that 4th place, don't they?
They had a pretty good last week here, though. 4-1, I believe, their record. Only dropped the game to Cloud9. Otherwise, crushed all the competition. And they were a team that was in huge danger of not making playoffs. They were very much in danger of that. They had a pretty rough road ahead of them. I'm trying to remember back if I think their opponents, they were predicted to beat a lot of their opponents in head-to-head records, but even still, it's like, look, you're tied for 6th with Coast. You are a game from losing out of the playoffs, but they end in the top half of the standings.
Sometimes that's what you need, that just being very close to the edge to give you that extra kick.
I don't know if you want to get kicked over the edge, though. That'd be scary.
I don't want to get kicked into the edge.
You want to get backwards. Maybe the pole? I don't know. We know what we're talking about. Their lives were on the line, and Curse made it happen. Even in the spring qualifiers, like way back at the beginning of the LCS season, they dominated their way through and became that first team to qualify that way. When it seems like when their backs are against the wall, Curse does show up pretty well.
And what brought him there? Amumu.
Amumu, in fact. Yeah, I'm sure you were very proud of that. I didn't get to see a Trinity Force. You got to see 2 Amumus, though, today. So this guy, a little bit luckier than me in terms of what the players brought out. But congrats, of